work in teams, and I am really, really excited to see my doctors, nurses, social workers, mental health folks, therapists, everyone here standing together, because we are stronger when we're together. Together we are here to shine a light on the immense suffering occurring right here in our community and right there in this building. We are demanding action, we're demanding accountability, and we're demanding justice. As healthcare workers, our hearts break as we see the suffering, and we know suffering and we stand together against it. We've seen people violently taken from their homes and their families. We've seen families separated and kids in cages. We've seen people held in this building without access to healthcare or to basic medications that they need to survive. Boo. Yeah, Boo. They are in shackles and being kept for hours, sleeping on cold cement with little food to eat.
Shame.
All right. As a pediatrician and a mom, my heart breaks when I hear about the kids in cages. Especially when I think about them and I think about my own kids here without a stuffed animal, without a bed, without their parents. The kids I see in clinic, they tell me they're afraid they're gonna get snatched up. Do we say boo to that?
Boo!
And they tell me they're afraid that they're gonna be taken to someplace far, far away. Someplace dark and scary like their friend Liam was. Is that okay?
No!
We cannot stand by and let this happen. These places are not suitable for anyone, especially not kids.
That's right.
No kids in cages.
No kids in cages.
To be clear, this isn't just about these places being scary. They are dangerous and deadly. When we think about Anne Frank, she died at the age of 15 in a camp not too dissimilar from this one. She didn't die of a gunshot wound. She didn't die in a gas chamber. She died of typhus. It was preventable. Overcrowding, cold, freezing temperatures. People die when they are left in these kinds of conditions, and we cannot stand for it. In medicine, we say together when we enter the field, we say, we will do no harm or injustice.
That's right.
Do no harm.
Do no harm. Do no harm. Do no harm.
With this oath comes an obligation to speak out when we see harm and to fight back against injustice.
Yes.
We heard today from our Native friends and family here about the harm that's happened right here on this land for generations, and we call today for it to end right now.
Right.
On behalf of our patients, on behalf of our kids too afraid to come into clinic or go to recess, on behalf of people detained without health care, without medications, without even a safe place to sleep, we demand action and we demand accountability,
yes,
and that's why we are here today. Woo! To our federal leaders, we sent you a letter to this effect, and we're standing here to ask for our demands. Do not vote to fund this reckless agency. Ensure humane conditions and access to health care as required by DHS standards. Demand accountability and justice. End the harm now. And as a pediatrician, no kids in cages.
No kids in cages!
I'm going to pass this on to Dr. Stevens.
Good job.
I love the sight of this amazing group standing here in the cold, standing here for what we know is right. Thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Stevens. I'm an OBGYN physician here in the Twin Cities. Representative Dr. Kelly Morrison, a fellow OBGYN who represents us in Congress, was able to finally enter the Whipple Detention Center for the first time last weekend for an oversight visit, after previously she had been denied this opportunity when she presented with congressional colleagues a few weeks prior. Although Representative Morrison was unfortunately unable to join us today, I'm able to share her description of her visit. She viewed conditions and was able to speak to agents and people who had been detained, What she found, she said, is not what she would expect from the United States of America, with people not being treated like human beings or afforded basic dignity. All are bound with leg shackles in locked cells and treated cruelly by agents. Many are in distress, with a mother sobbing that she and her husband had both been separated from their 7-year-old daughter, who they had to leave with a friend and had not been allowed to contact by phone despite being there for several hours. They are given minimal food. They are forced to sleep on cold, hard concrete floors due to lack of beds. They are freezing cold and shivering through the nights and denied when they are begging for blankets. As an aside, I have heard reports from multiple people who have come here to donate blankets and have been told that they have plenty and don't need any more. Representative Morrison found that agents could not answer basic questions about the facility or protocols, and that there was no specific medical policy or medical care on site. She was told that a nurse visits occasionally and that 911 calls are often required. She left feeling more resolved than ever to end Operation Metro Surge and get ICE out of Minnesota. That visit was granted after following protocol and providing 7 days notice. They knew she was coming. Since that time, a judicial decision was affirmed allowing unannounced visits by congressional members to ICE facilities for oversight. So she came back a couple days ago, and they still barred her for 30 minutes from entering, telling her she was not permitted. Finally, she was able to go inside, and they still were unable to answer the basic questions that she had already tried asking. They knew this was the type of thing congressional members would be asking. This time, she was not allowed to speak to anyone who had been detained. Representatives Craig and McCollum also attempted oversight visits this week after that protocol changed, and they were still denied. They do not want thorough oversight here because they know what is happening inside is not humane. The fact that individuals in custody deserve humane conditions and access to medical care should not require argument or legislation. Legislation has been introduced that would make it so that people have basic humane conditions, basic access to health care, the bare minimum that we can humanely expect of our government. And you can bet this will be politicized and argued against by policymakers who claim to be protecting people. We are caregivers and we call for humanity. We call for it now without legislative obstacles or performative debates on a political stage. We call for it not just because of what we do as healthcare providers, but because of who we are as community members, neighbors, allies, and human beings. ICE out.
ICE out!
It's as loud as it goes.
Can you hear me?
Got to squeeze something.
Yell!
I think we just have to
Yell.
Well, thank you all to my fellow healthcare workers for getting out on this cold day for this very important work. My name is Matt Klein. I'm an internal medicine hospitalist and a state senator from this area. In a Minnesota Star Tribune article just last week, people inside this building describe being shackled at the ankles in holding rooms that are so crowded there is no space to lie down. Common toileting facilities are shared by men and women who are housed together without privacy. Rooms are cold and no provisions are made for sleeping with blankets or mattresses. In some cases, a single sandwich is the food provided for the day. Reporting from the same article describes a young Muslim woman, a refugee legally in this country, who was shackled at the ankles in a room with 3 men for 24 hours. When she began to menstruate, she was instructed to use toilet paper. When she fell ill and vomited, she was ignored. The same article reports that detainees who have asked for their medications for epilepsy or diabetes have been refused. Other detainees describe housing pens built for 20 people, crammed with over 100 people, with a single overflowing toilet and feces on the floor. A detainee named Susan Tischer describes having her wedding ring cut off and her clothes cut away before she was released with no charges. Other detainees shared the story of a man with a broken finger who was denied medical attention despite his pleas. As medical professionals in the state of Minnesota, we dedicate our lives to uplifting the health and dignity of all. To have a facility in our state which compares with the most brutal confinement facilities in world history is an insult to the medical community and an affront to the values of all Minnesotans. The ways in which we treat the most vulnerable and marginalized among us define who we are for now and for all time. History will remember. We demand better for the sake of these detainees and in the name of humanity.
And we've got a new mic. All right, Centerman. Hold on, Centerman next, or yeah. Here we go. We're gonna.
All right, thank you, everyone. I am Elise Ann, and I am the other Dr. Senator in the Minnesota Legislature. I want to thank everyone for taking their very little and precious time off that you have to be here today to stand up for your patients. We all took an oath to put our patients first, and that's what we are doing. And I want to thank Congresswoman Dr. Morrison for bearing witness to some of the things that are going on inside that building. But if they are willing to shove people, drag pregnant women across the ground, to shoot people in the back, and to pepper spray people directly in the face, imagine, this is all on camera, imagine what they are willing to do behind closed doors. We need the world to know the conditions inside this building, and we need the world to know that we think those conditions are unacceptable, inhumane, and we as caretakers of the people of Minnesota are here today demanding a stop to the abuses that are occurring inside that building. We are standing out here today because our patients can no longer get to us. So we are going to do our best to get to them, to give them the care and the justice that they deserve. Hello all.
Hello.
My name is Dr. Brown, and I'm a public health nurse, and I have a PhD. Can I hear from the nurses in the crowd? Ah, we're a loud bunch.
Yeah, we are.
I'm happy to say that the individual nurse voices have been leading the cause for humane treatment of detainees and those attacked by ICE. Thank you for your bravery, speaking up about how those in your care have been treated. With the death of Alex Preddy, our community is shaken. A nurse murdered in front of our eyes for doing what nurses do, caring for those who need us. We are grieving, and we are angry. Are you angry?
Yes!
We know what's happening here at Whipple is not okay. We know nurses and all of our healthcare family are here. We know what needs to be done and what care is required every hour of the day. You tell me, are these detainees in this building getting the care that they need?
No!
In my 2 decades of public health nursing, I've witnessed the incredible coordination required for adequate medical care for those in federal or state custody. Facilities require full staffs of nurses, doctors, and so many other professionals around the clock. There's no evidence of any of this care being provided. Who is treating the wounds of those who've been physically harmed in the detainment process? No one. Who is ensuring that those with diabetes or other chronic conditions are receiving the medical care that they need to avoid irreversible harm?
No one.
Who is ensuring that Javier Abreu Vasquez is receiving the medications he needs to ensure his transplanted kidney is not rejected?
No one.
Who deserves this type of illegal and inhumane care?
No one.
Thank you. We will continue to fight and leave no person behind. We will not stop until the human rights of all are respected and protected. So ICE, I'm speaking to you now. If you're not going to get the fuck out of our state, know that we're going to be here every day asking to be let the fuck in to help our community members who you are terrorizing.
Hello everyone, my name is Angelica. I am a nurse and an educator. And I'm here today to speak not only on behalf of my profession, but from lived experience at the bedside, like many of us have spent. I want to speak directly to this administration, to the federal agencies responsible for the conditions within these facilities, conditions that are causing illness, harm, and preventable suffering among our fellow human beings. At our core, we all share the desire for peace, security, freedom, and the ability to care for one another and the land that sustains us. Care is fundamental to our humanity. As a nurse who has stood beside hundreds, if not thousands, of people at the end of life, I can say this with certainty. When we reach that moment, because each of us will, what we seek is not power or wealth, but love, mercy, forgiveness, and the knowledge that we treated others with dignity. What remains with us is how we lived, how we cared for our neighbors, and whether we chose compassion over harm. The way human life is being treated right now, disregarded, neglected, and stripped of its dignity, does not reflect who we are capable of being, or any spiritual or religious entities that guide us. Nurses are trained in the science of care. We build conditions where healing is possible. We're guided by an ethical and moral commitment to care for all people without expectation, including you. And today we are asking the administration for mercy, to remember its own humanness. We are asking for dignity. We are asking to be allowed to do what we are all trained to do, to prevent disease, to tend to the vulnerable, to care for our elders, to protect children, and uphold the sanctity of human life. Nurses, physicians, healers, social workers, elders, health professionals, and everyone in between are needed now more than ever. The human spirit and psyche is obviously in collective distress, and we are here to help. If we want a more caring and just future, we must take responsibility for our actions today. Let us care. Let us choose care over cruelty and love over harm. Before I close, I want to offer us all in this moment something different, not an argument or a demand, but an invitation. An invitation for anyone listening to remember who we are, to remember our belonging to one another and to the earth, our responsibility to life, and our capacity to choose love. Control is an illusion. Rest, humility, belonging. These are a part of the living world, and they are all much older than any systems of power. And so for those who are locked inside, for the families who are scared to leave their homes, to those who are causing this harm, and to those who are trying to stop it, this is an invitation for us to pause and to hold on. This is a poem by John O'Donoghue called For the Interim Time. When near the end of day, life has drained out of light, and it is too soon for the mind of night to have darkened things. No place looks like itself. Loss of outline makes everything look strangely in between, unsure of what has been or what might be to come. In this light, even trees seem groundless. In a while, it will be night, but nothing here seems to believe in the relief of darkness. You are in this time of the interim, where everything seems withheld. The path you took to get here washed out. The way forward is still concealed from you. The old is not old enough to have died, the young still too young to be born. You cannot lay claim to anything in this moment, in this place of dusk. Your eyes are blurred and there are no mirrors. Everyone else has lost sight of your heart. And you can see nowhere to put your trust. You know you have to make your own way through. As far as you can, hold your confidence. Do not allow confusion to squander. This call, which is loosening your roots in false ground, that you might come free from all you have outlived and outgrown. What is being transfigured here is our consciousness, and it is difficult and slow to become new. The more fully you can endure here, the more refined our heart will become for our arrival into the new dawn. Thank you.
Of all the forms of inequality, injustice in health is the most shocking and most inhumane. I'm going to say that again. Of all the forms of inequality, injustice in health is the most shocking and most inhumane.
That's right.
My name is Dr. Nathan Chomolo. I'm a pediatrician, an internist, and a healer who strives to heal our kids, communities, and healthcare system. And I stand here today among my colleagues to remind us of that warning that Dr. King issued almost 60 years ago. A call to heed what it says about us when we let injustice in health persist. When we, can I say we? We. When we tolerate others' right to care and human dignity to be stripped from them, when we allow others to be dehumanized, we lose some of our own humanity.
That's right, that's right.
Dehumanization has been at the root of every atrocity we have seen play out throughout history, from chattel slavery, land theft and genocide, to Jim Crow and apartheid. The great potential of this country has been that people have universal and inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And as healers, we hold a position of regard because we are called to universal commitments to care. We take oaths that include principles like beneficence, an obligation to act for the benefit not only of the patients in front of us, but to remove conditions that will cause harm and act to rescue persons in danger. And the principle of justice, which we live up to through the fair, equitable, and appropriate treatment of all persons. So as we gather here today, during the 100th anniversary of the Negro History Week movement Carter G. Woodson started, that turned into Black History Month, we honor a tradition that compels every community to confront the stark lessons history teaches us about the consequences of dehumanizing any group. Standing on a site that once stripped dignity from our Native and Indigenous neighbors, we as healers, feel our own humanity intertwined with the lives of those confined within this detention center and those in centers across the nation who endure similar injustices. We call on our leaders, particularly those in healthcare, to do the same, to see themselves and their humanity in those with and without power. Failure to do so will put us all at risk. Our profession will risk further erosion of trust as we ignore the facts and evidence of harm right in front of our eyes and fail to say or do anything. Our silence and inaction collectively risk normalization of mass suffering and even death, whether that be in Minneapolis or Palestine, St. Cloud or Sudan. Allowing injustice in health to go unchallenged is shocking and inhumane. I'm here today not only as a healer, but as a Minnesotan, a father, husband, son, brother, and friend, to also share that there is a path to communal healing. To get there requires that we acknowledge the wound caused by dehumanization, that we work in community to address the wound, and that we show up in solidarity to support all communities. Being here today is a step that we have all taken. My we're going to yeah. Yeah, check.
Back to the bullhorn.
Oh, we got a bigger one.
Get a bigger one.
Got a bigger one?
Get a bigger one. We need a bigger bullhorn.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So being here today is a step that we have all taken. My colleagues have provided our calls to action. I will now provide a small but important acknowledgement of the humanity of those who paid the ultimate price of dehumanization by reading the names and ages of just some of those who died in ICE custody from February 2025 to today. Maxim Chiranya, 44. Juan Alexis Tineo Martinez, 44. Brian Garson Rayo, 27. Marie Ange Blaze, 44. Abiardo Abiyaneira Delgado, age 68. Joni Novelo, age 49. Isidro Perez, age 75. Tien Wan Fan, age 55. Chaofeng J, age 32. Lorenzo Antonio Batres Vargas, age 32. Santos Benegas Reyes, age 42. Ismael Ayala Uribe, age 39. Norlan Guzman Fuentes, age 37. Miguel Angel Garcia Medina, age 31. Wabing Z, age unknown. Leo Cruz Silva, age 34. Hassan Ali Motasala, age 67. Gabriel Garcia Aviles, age 54. Francisco Gaspar Andres, age 48. Shiraz Fatali Sashwani, age 48. Jean Wilson Brutus, age 41. Fuad Said Abdul Qadir, age 46. Delvin Francisco Rodriguez, age 39. Nenko Stanev Ganchev, age 56. Geraldo Lunas Campos, age 55. Luis Gustavo Nunez Caceres, age 42. Luis Beltran Yanes Cruz, age 68. Herede La, age 46. Victor Manuel Diaz, age 36. Eber Sanchez Dominguez, age 34. This list does not include the names of people who didn't even make it to detention. Names like Silverio Yevagas Gonzalez, Keith Porter Jr., Renee Good, Alex Preddy, and more. So we ask you now to please join us in a minute of silence as we recognize the humanity of those lives lost. Thank you. I hope many are able to attend the Renee Good Public Memorial at Powderhound Park after this, as we continue a day of peaceful solidarity. As Bell Hooks taught us, rarely, if ever, are any of us healed in isolation. Healing is an act of communion. With that, we will transition to some song. And I hope as folks move through the day, we take care of each other and take care of our humanity.